Fill her up.
You're listening to the GaS Digital Network.
So, Harrington was here for whack yesterday until kind of late.
Right.
And then Alex came after Story Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank was also here doing stuff for True Dat.
Okay.
And then Tom popped by because he was at the Sam Hyde thing and decided to come to the studio quick.
What's the Sam Hyde thing?
They're season 2 of Extreme Peace. They're like video series. I don't know, something.
Okay, keep
was
talking.
going on. So it was kind of an old school hang.
I'm sad I missed it.
Minus, like, you know, G Mike and Paco. It kind of felt like an old school gas hang.
Right.
It was nice.
Without me, made it better, I'm sure.
What?
Well,
because you don't smoke weed.
Neither do you.
Chiefing. Oh, dude.
Neither do you, dog.
We were puffing and
I'm sure they were
vaping
puffing. I'm sure you were vaping. We
were so blitzed.
It's becoming
I don't even know if Tom
quite
smoked.
expensive to come into the city, regardless of by car or by bus. So on days that I don't have to be in the city, I'm usually not, and I'm going to be in a lot. Yeah, the bus is now $6.75 each way, and the subway is like almost $3.
Wait, the bus for me is $6.90.
That's what I mean, $6.90.
You
Almost
said $75.
It used to be $6, and now it's almost $7, but not quite $7. The difference between 10 cents, I'm not paying attention. The point is, it is $6.90 each way, and then what? $3 each way by subway, $2.75. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? You got less money than me.
Cry harder, liberal.
You're the one who's always like, "Oh, I can't hang out. I have no money."
Yeah. So what are you complaining about, money bags?
I can't afford to come into the city all the time, and I'm going to be in a lot next week. Weird energy that you brought to this conversation suddenly.
Oh, no, I can't take a bus and park my car, the car that I drive.
Why are you doing that? Like, it's true. Why are you doing that?
Oh, you poor thing,
I
having
can't
a car.
Oh, I don't have... What? It costs $30 to come into the city. With the congestion pricing, it costs $30 a day.
You have a car. Count your blessings.
You could have a car. I had a lip on earlier, and I didn't put it back on when I came in here. So you're gonna watch.
Honey, those aren't the lips we're trying to look at.
Subscribe to GaS Digital now on YouTube so that we can do a revealing Q&A.
Oh no! Did you have dirt on me?
This has been just like we're alluding to the fact that we're gonna get naked on it, even though we're not. Welcome to GaS Digital now, the GaS Digital wrap-up show. I don't know how much of that is staying, but we talk about all the shows that came out on the network this week, what they talked about. I'm Natalie. A brief moment of studio lore. Me and Zach were watching Tim Dillon's episode of Hot Ones in the lobby earlier. Funny, that's the same sound you made last week for the turtle fucking a shoe. There it is. Speaking of a turtle fucking a shoe, we should talk about TTI. It was Figs' birthday.
Oh,
I have some stuff from Zach's morning zoo. I might have a question for part of the problem, even.
Ooh.
What do you have?
We're going to be talking about... Okay, so actually, we're going to be talking about Tony Hinchcliffe's beef with
Tony Hinchcliffe, you just said.
What?
You kind of did.
You just you got pussy on the brain.
True. Got my ass.
Tony Hinchcliffe's beef with Story Wars. We're gonna be talking about your boy Dave's night in jail on Legion of Skanks.
Oh, recently?
And we're gonna be talking about oh boy. I didn't have a lot
Doesn't matter.
of time.
Doesn't matter. Just do those two. That's 5.
Okay.
That's plenty. Let's do it. I want to hear about studio lore first, though.
Ooh.
How was your weekend?
Well-
I went to a thing in the village, but I'll wait.
Well,
I'll wait for you to
that's
go
more
first.
interesting.
I hung out with our boy Jorge this weekend. I came in. I went, "When's the last time I saw you?" He goes, "Saturday." I go, "I did see you on Saturday." Oh, I have personal tea to tell you about, but not for the show. That's you pouring a teapot. I went to a show. There's a venue nearby called Drum.
Actually, I do have another one. I forgot. I'm sorry. I do want to talk about one other thing
Tell us.
because we had S tier no need for apologies guests this week, and they were talking about a lot of funny stuff. 2 of my absolute favorites on No Need for Apologies this week. on
Who
the
are
same
they?
episode.
Can I know?
And they were talking about something very interesting, so we'll get into it.
Sweet.
Then.
And we can even talk about the episode of HSR that they're doing right now, if we have time.
Yeah.
But I went to a disco-themed party this weekend.
Disco Dave. Disco
Dave has returned. I don't know if you're a new listener. Disco Dave was a nickname of mine in elementary school. Why? Couldn't tell you. But went to a disco-themed party, dressed cute, wore my bell-bottoms. It was really fun. Took a couple friends of mine out. And then when I was waiting to get in, I get a text from Jorge that says, "We're pulling up in a couple minutes." And I go, "No shit." And he goes, "Hopefully no shit." And Jorge and his girlfriend pulled up. And that was great. We had a
Nice.
little group. We had a little group of 5.
A groovy group.
A very groovy group. Their music choices were questionable. Like, they were playing a
Yeah, you said
disco
they were-
song.
It was fair to Midland.
Fair to mid, yeah. It was like a disco song here and there, and then there was a lot of song like they played 2 songs that were definitely from the 80s, and like a lot of Michael Jackson.
Let's just say this DJ didn't have you falling in love again.
Who's that?
It's Usher. Are you for real right now?
Oh, DJ Fallen in Love Again. I was like, is that a 70s song that I don't know? Is that a disco song that I don't know? I thought you
That's
were
a
on theme.
Diddy song.
So, halfway through the thing, I was like, where's the fucking Earth, Wind, and Fire? Where's Donna Summers? Like, why are we doing this? It took them forever to play September, like all stuff that I thought they were going to do. And there was also a moment where the music completely went out and Jorge was doing fucking crowd work over here.
Yeah, I mentioned that to him when I saw him.
Did you? What did he say?
I was like, I heard you were doing crowd work this weekend, and then he laughed and said, yeah.
There was a
No,
point.
he said, yeah, I went up to people and I was like, you ever fuck a black guy? And I'm like, be serious for once in your life.
He could not be serious. The music went out for a minute and everyone's looking at each other. And there was a group of kids like our age. There were a lot of old people at this party. A group of kids our age that were
Natalie,
like
for one.
singing and stuff.
28.
And I'm not even drunk. Why am I losing brain cells right now? Jorge was
New
like,
podcast, we're losing brain cells.
Jorge was like, aha, yeah, we're down. I'm just gonna keep dancing until the music comes back. Aha, they pay me by the hour. Keep tip your waiters. Like, the bar's open over there. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And then the music finally came back up, and I was like, thank God. And then his girlfriend had left, like she went to get a drink or something, and I was like, that was so bad you walked her. But other than that, it was very cute. There were lots of old people in disco outfits, and it was pretty fun. And it's one of those things where if you're in the first 50 people to show up, it's free. So if you go and you get there early and you don't drink, it can be like a free event.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your favorite 70s song?
They played It's Raining Men. That was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty
Who's
good.
that?
The Weather Ladies or something. It has a name that's like weirdly similar to It's Raining Men. Tell me about your weekend.
You always forget the village people are the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're
It's
very
Raining Men,
70s.
D-toppers. D-toppers.
Oh.
Did not know that. One hit wonder? Question mark. How was your weekend?
My weekend.
Oh, we hung out this weekend.
Yeah, we
We went to a comedy show this weekend.
Oh, boy.
Even. What did you, separate from Miguel, what did you think?
Comedy was a strong word.
Comedy was a strong word. I saw my good friend who used to be my boss at the New York Film Academy. His name's Miguel. Has recently started dabbling into comedy. So we went to essentially an open mic. Expensive open mic. It was like $25 a ticket to go to this show. But it was easier for me to go and like hang out with him for a bit afterward than it is for us to like coordinate. So if he was like, I have a show, I'm like, I'll go and support your show. It was empty. Mike showed up almost an hour late. Just kidding. Mike was there halfway through it. Luckily, my friend was pretty funny. And I would not be saying that here he doesn't listen to the show. I would not be saying that here if I didn't think it was true. But I thought he was pretty funny. The other ones were hit or miss.
I wish I could hit them and not miss.
There were, and by hit or miss, I mean there were probably 3 or 4 out of like 12 or 13 people that went up that I liked a lot. And the rest I was like, oof. It was not so good. Not so good. You missed half of them. You like,
boy.
it's funny. The ones earlier were better, and I feel like a lot of them got worse. So there were a couple at the beginning that were some of my favorites, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming anyway, so that it was at least a date.
By the way, I was right. That was the old stand-up New York.
So that's where we saw Race the Movie the Play?
Yes.
Oh, no shit. It did look the same. You're right. It didn't occur to
And
me until you said it afterward.
Also, I remember seeing the door where you got to go out of the building to go to stand-up labs where we used to record Unpopular Opinions.
No shit. Nice.
Because I used to go up there for Unpopular because we would record at stand-up labs, so I would come into the city. And that was the one time where it was one of my first times taking the subway and like in New York, and I took like the 1 train up, and like it jolted to a halt, and my phone just flew out of my hands and just landed like this on top, and I watched the screen just go black and break. I'd be like, damn it.
Oof.
Because it was facing up.
Yeah. So you watched it break itself.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, anyway, thank you for coming with me. And then we had a very cute stroll through Central Park, and my phone was
Yeah.
dead. So I had to be in the
We're
moment.
panicking.
I was a little panicking. It's a good thing that you came back with me, because then at least we could share a phone.
I wish you were pancaking.
What does that mean?
Because this bitch is flat.
What does that mean? What does that mean? But yeah, it was good to see my friend, and he was super nice, right?
Yeah, Miguel was cool.
He's a great accent. I enjoy his accent very much.
I enjoyed walking through the park with you. Also, I dropped my sandwich on the ground of Central Park and picked it up and ate it without even brushing it off.
I mean, you hesitated. You were like, oh, no, I dropped my sandwich on the ground. Should I not eat it? And we were both like, just turn it around and eat the other side.
And then I just ate the whole thing anyway, and I had
With
dirt
the
in my-
rocks?
I had dirt in my mouth. And I didn't care at
Bro
all.
ate dirt. Bro had dirt in his mouth. Oh, my God. Yeah, that place was good.
I'm a dirty bird.
You are a dirty bird. Anyway, we can get into the shows now. I forgot to set the timer,
Well-
so I don't know how long it's been.
What else did I do this weekend? We separated on Friday. Correct.
We separated on Friday. I went into the city to record Close the Door Behind You. And then we came home separately? We must have.
Anyway, my parents are officially
Moving?
Building a house.
Building a house. And not just moving into a house, building it. Having
They're
a
in
house
their
built.
Minecraft era.
They're in their Minecraft era. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they're gonna have a stone cutter table.
They're gonna have a workstation, a work table, a work desk, or whatever the fuck they're called. I haven't played Minecraft in like 7
It
years.
makes her dizzy.
It does. Don't make fun of me. You're like my ex. My ex used to make fun of me for that too. She was like, "That's woman behavior."
It is.
To be motion sick from 3D games. I need to set the timer.
I mean, can we talk about this broad is allergic to cold water and gets dizzy from Minecraft? What's happening here? But yeah, my parents are moving back to the same hometown of Shane Gillis, where I'm also from, of Mechanicsburg, and we're building on a plot of land not far from where a friend of mine was. I think it's either in the same an expansion of the same development or in a going to be a neighboring development. Because I recognized one of the street names.
That's cute. I like that.
And I remember biking from my house on...
Believe it or not, Mike can ride a bike.
Yeah, but I would have to bike, like, on a not street-friendly, like, thoroughfare.
Right.
Boulevard of sort. A pike. It was literally... had pike in the name.
Right.
And then off of the pike into like
That's
the most
Pennsylvania to have it a pike.
backwoods, windy road you've ever been on.
Right.
But then it fed into like this nice development.
Right. Nice. That's cute.
And
Good for that. How long do you think it's going to take them to build this house?
so thankfully, because they were planning on moving like at the end of the month.
Really?
And now they're like, we're not doing that anymore, so you don't have to. And I was like, thank goodness.
Oh, move your shit out of their house. Oh, help them move.
Of course, help them move.
Right. Okay.
If I wouldn't be my parents' son if I didn't help them move every 3 years because they get itchy feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to think of. My parents are building a house. What am I going to what are my requests?
That it have?
Yeah.
You should have a bathroom, but instead of a toilet, there's a urinal that's covered with rocks.
Or like a person who
Brushes your
escorts you.
teeth for you. That's pretty fun. I've never met... My great aunt built a house in Ireland. That's where I stay when I'm in Ireland. But
Didn't your dad build out his whole ass basement?
he didn't build it. Also, that was me. I did that.
Oh.
The basement was built. We just put a couple walls up in places that there was just frame. But no. I mean, my dad has built shit. He's never built a whole house or even a whole room from scratch before. He's just good at, like, construction stuff within a house. I'm sure he could. He just never has.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have any desire to build a house. I don't care that much about what's in my house. Like, I would rather I'm too indecisive. I would rather be given something and then work within the constraints of that thing than be like, if they're like, have at it. I'm like, I don't know. I need help making some decisions, you know?
You're working on just a plot of land.
Right.
So my parents are basically playing Big House, Small House.
They are playing big house. I would be worried if they find a hard drive on that house, on that property. Very cool for them. Very cool for them. I wonder how long that kind of thing takes. I don't know.
I'm going to request that my room be built with nether brick.
You're not... All right, never mind.
He thought it was funny.
All right, never mind.
Harrington thought it was funny out there.
Let's get into some of these shows before we get too carried away. Like I said, his one piece of studio lore is that everyone was hanging out without me yesterday. And mine is that me and Zach were watching Tim Dillon's Hot Ones earlier.
How
that
was it?
Pretty good. Very good. Literally in my head, before I saw Tim Dillon posted a clip of it, and I haven't watched Hot Ones in like a year because nothing has really grabbed me. And when I saw the clip, I was like, I would love to see Tim Dillon on Hot Ones. He seems like a good interviewee for a good interviewer. Like, it's just an interesting dynamic of vibes.
Sure.
And I heard Zach watching it in the other room, and I ran out, and I was like, I also wanted to watch this, so we watched part of it together.
Nice.
That's it.
First off, so if we're getting into shows,
Yeah.
we gotta talk about. I don't know if you've seen this clip or if you're off Instagram. It's hard to keep track these days.
I was off, and now I'm back on.
It's hard to tell.
That's fine. You can tell by when I have stories. If I have had no stories in days, that means I haven't been on
I don't
in
think you
days.
ever have any stories, but that's just between you and me and God. I mean, you're right, sister.
He's losing his marbles. There are no marbles in there. It's just like you shake them and it's just like no marbles. Air.
So Tony Hinchcliffe was on Story Warz.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw the clip that they put out on the Story Warz channel, but I felt like we should discuss it because you've
Please.
been to a couple of Story Warz tapings. You've watched the show evolve and grow. He is not a fan of double points.
I agree. So you sound like a smoker.
Why do you agree?
I mean, he's against the idea of having double points, or he's against the idea that everyone has to freak out when they say double points?
He's against the concept of double points in the game. He thinks that it kind of destroys the strategy from the first half.
I guess I'm thinking of, there are a lot of game show style games that do that. Where do you keep pulling Oreos out of? Your pockets? Where do they? I keep looking over and there's nothing, and then I look back and he's holding and eating an Oreo. Did you drop that on the ground of Central Park also? Where do these Oreos keep coming?
I'm just Napoleon Dynamite of Oreos.
It does seem that way. There's a specific game from Jackbox that I'm thinking of. I think it's Quiplash, where the second round is double points. So, although in that one the scoring doesn't really matter, the scoring doesn't matter as much.
You heard her, Lewis. She thinks that your game is just like
Hack.
Jackbox.
It is. I think he would agree.
It's just Jackbox.
Kind of Jackbox, which is not a bad thing. Jackbox is better than being compared to Cards Against Humanity.
That's true. Are you garbage?
That's not. That's
make
not true
sense.
either. That's not true either. I'm bald. I've been so self-conscious recently. So he said we shouldn't do double points because then why would you even bother winning anything in the first half?
Yeah, he said it destroys the strategy of the game.
I kind of agree. But I feel like there's a precedent for similar games having
the
double
precedent is Ari Shafir of Legion of Skanks.
Boo! 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 We're losing it, brother. I like that. That's his only beef. I thought he was going to be like, hey, I have a game that is scalable, and you can't also have a podcast that's a game that's also scalable.
I don't think Kill Tony is not a game.
No, I guess not. But Lewis
It's as
always
real as it gets. It's the only real podcast left.
Lewis always compares Story Warz to Kill Tony in that he's like something with a hook that is so distinct that it has the power to transcend other comedy podcasts. And not really in game vibe, you know. But
In that there's a panel is about the equal comparison.
I respect-
the only overlap is that there's a panel.
I respect Tony's take on this. I
And a
think
book.
that right, there's a prize. People put slips into a bucket in a way.
True.
Except on Story Warz, it's stories that you put in a
I
bucket.
wish that they would kick the bucket.
Who? The show?
No.
Go ahead.
The
Go ahead.
the co-host of the show.
You look very cute today, and it's like distracting from the fact that you're like driving me bonkers today with your madness.
Oh.
Um,
The madhouse.
I don't have Madhouse on the docket today.
SDR was on.
I saw that.
Note.
I saw that. That was today that I saw that clip. Anyway, I agree with Tony on this point for Story Wars. How was the episode overall?
So a couple of things. It kind of felt like a mushroom trip almost, like in the best way. Like,
I like that.
Literally, like it was a great episode.
Yeah.
The best story was my brother once took so many mushrooms that he fell asleep. My brother got arrested once because he took so many mushrooms that he fell asleep in a tent in Walmart.
No.
Like he went to one of the
the tent setup section. Oh my god.
which is so funny.
That's brutal.
Oh, that's such a brilliant story.
If I could use my brother or my friend story, I would be way better at Story Wars. I didn't know we could do that.
Well,
It's like a stolen valor.
they had to bail their brother out. And I think
That makes it more involved.
I think the theme was like family,
Oh, okay. That's fair.
because also there were not one, Natalie, but two. I'm related to a bank robber stories
Wow.
from two different people.
Speaking of quiplash, that's one of those that you both and you're like, is this one mine? You hear it and you're like,
Yeah,
was that my story? Did I write that? Because that sounds like what I put in.
right.
That's hilarious. I like that a lot.
And
That's very good.
The first story, the name was Aunt Cricket, which shout out Lemaire Lee and Natalie DeChico for having weird
Ant names. Yeah.
Yours
Hell
is
yeah.
Titsy.
Titsy. Mm-hmm.
And Lemaire's is
Peaches.
Peaches.
Shout out Aunt Peaches. I have a Kitschy too. Aunt Kitschy is another one. I have a bunch, and they're on both sides of the aisle too.
You would be Aunt Gay.
Very good, Mike. Very good. You get a gold star.
Gold Star Gay.
Do you? Happy Pride, everybody. Happy Pride Month.
Yeah, Happy Pride.
Happy Pride Month.
White Pride.
I mean, technically, you can be white and gay.
True. Happy Gay White
Happy
Pride
White
Month.
Gay Pride Month. Yeah. Do you have anything else on Story Wars?
I did, and I'm having trouble remember.
Who else was on besides Tony Hinchcliffe?
David Lucas and
'Kay.
Valerie Vaughn, OnlyFans star.
Oh, I don't know her.
Yeah.
Weird choice. Unless she's also in the comedy space.
Oh,
Oh, no. No one look. My horrible balding hair.
the hell.
I'm so insecure, fellas.
I can't remember what it was, and it's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna be sad.
Anyway, if you think of it before the end of the episode. Oh, I have a funny one. This is not necessarily a talking point one. It's just a couple points that I wanted to bring up from Zach's Morning Zoo.
Oh, I will say, Lewis apologized to David Lucas for being racist on the show, which I thought was funny.
On this episode?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because it was
Lewis
Aunt-
to apologize for
it
being
was-
racist.
It was well, he was doing it tongue in cheek, but it was
Oh.
the Aunt Cricket story, and everyone was like, this is David Lucas. Why are we even trying this around?
Right.
And
What
then
else?
And then Lewis was like, you know what? I'm sorry that I doubted you.
Why would you put the aunt's name in the story? I feel like that's going to do that, unless they were specifically trying to throw it off.
They were throwing it off.
Interesting. I like that.
Part of the double point strategy. I
Inter-
like double points, and I want to keep it.
I feel like it should be fewer. I feel like maybe the last 2 rounds you can do double points or something.
That spoils it.
Why?
There's if you know that there's going to be double points in the second half, there's strategy in that.
I guess. But also, if you know that the last 2 rounds are double points, there's also... if you know what's going on, you can strategize.
I love double points in the second half.
Vote in the chat.
Yeah.
Are you pro or anti double points?
In the YouTube comments, tell us what
Yes.
you think.
Actually, yeah, that's better for engagement. Write it in the comments instead of in the live chat. Don't even bother in the GaS chat. We get nothing for that.
But please do post your best deepfake of Nat.
Oh, I wish you would. It's been a while, or at least I'm not in the chat as much. So for Zach's Morning Zoo, earlier I was skimming. I was doing my podcast homework for this episode, and Zach was in, and I go, Zach, I'm about to watch a Morning Zoo episode. Which one do you think is the most worth it to watch? And he said Gio and
Florentine?
and Jim Florentine, definitely.
Hello, Gio Perez.
They were talking about, oh, you were listening to this one at my house Monday morning.
Yes.
I remember that because they were talking about the movie Happiness, which I've discussed with Zach before, which is a very dark... It's always one of those things where, like, it's a bummer that my ex was never here while we were together, because there's very niche movies like that I watched because of her that Zach always brings up. Like, that's one... Like, he mentioned El Topo while he was talking about a different director. I think it's called El Topo. And I was like, oh, that's a weird one that I watched with my ex. And Happiness is another one, super dark. You should watch it, I think.
I like that where Zach was like, he gets caught halfway through and then you just have to sit in it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of sitting in it. However, there was one story that they told about taking Gio to Lucky 13s.
Yes.
Which reminded me of when he took you to Lucky 13s.
I exposed Gio to white culture recently.
Yeah.
Gio, do you want to tell him about it?
Oh, Lucky. What was it called?
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. That go-go bar in Brooklyn.
I took him to the biker bar I drink at.
Oh yeah.
And it was I think culture shock.
Yeah, because I've never been to like a biker bar and not sell coke.
Yeah.
So just there hanging out like recreational. But the funny thing is, there's these hot girls. But then he's like, you got to be careful because some of these guys, date these girls. And I'm like, okay, well, you set me up now? Because he set me up to get beat up.
And I was like, that came from deep in my memory that he took you there. Who were you with? Just Zach and Chris?
I've gone with just Zach.
That's so cute.
And then
Sorry to be patronizing, but I love that.
And then another time I went with Brian.
Oh, just Brian?
Yes.
Shut up, Brian.
And when
I hope
I
he's
went
doing
with
well nowadays.
Brian, it was a well, look what the cat dragged in moment because Cass showed up.
Oh, hilarious.
Casanova Valentine, Zach's wrestler friend,
Right.
just happened to show up with his posse at the same time that we were showing up to Lucky 13s, and we just kind of partied for a while there.
How
which was
cool.
nice.
I've never been. Maybe I need to go.
It's fun. I mean, if you like topless women and drinking.
Sure. I think I'd be embarrassed to be that close to them. I've never been to a strip club even.
This is a good. This is
Like
a
a
good
warm
starter.
up, like a dipping your toe in, yeah.
Yeah, because they talk to you. It's a bar. It's not like loud thumping like music
True.
like at a strip club.
That's true.
It's
that's
actually
true.
kind of better because they talk to you
Right. I like that.
and they go like slowly down the table.
Right. I like that. I
Like,
would be
they
very
spend
into
some
that.
time with you and then they go to the next one down the bar.
Fun. I just don't know how I'd get there and be drunk and like without a place to stay, Unless I was really putting out for an Uber.
I mean,
It's kind of far. It's kind of out of my way.
when I got home from Lucky 13s, it was 6 a.m.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you live in a place that's accessible by 24-hour public transit. Although, I mean, if it was 6 a.m., I could just take the bus home.
I mean, well, I left at 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Brutal. I would love to go, though. Maybe I'll take a friend that's sober to drive me. Maybe I'll take my friend that I'm thinking of that's specific that's sober and drives me home sometimes. And we can all go together. It's too bad they don't have men there for my friends to fuck. Anyway.
You're always thinking in these terms.
I'm disgusting. I'm depraved. I'm so sorry.
You're on the depraved?
I am. Anyway, the other thing that they talked about that I wanted to bring up on Zach's Morning Zoo with the Gio Perez and Jim Florentine episode is they had the dick size chart, the long and short of it, which I've looked at before. I'm pretty sure for himbos, deep cut. Pretty sure for himbos I had to pull up that list. And they did my boy Billy Joe so dirty.
Oh yeah.
So fucking dirty.
the worst one.
The worst one.
Worse than Sebastian Bach.
Yeah, the smallest and nothing to write home about sexually. What did his point? He's also bisexual, so I feel like if some men wrote in, I feel like there would be more there. Maybe he just leans toward men.
Maybe when he comes around.
That one I liked better. Very good.
Well, welcome to paradise.
Who would you be the most curious about to see if they're on that list, or that you wish was on a list like that?
As far as rock stars,
I would want to see more pop punk dudes. I want to see what's his name, Pete Wentz or whatever from Panic, not Panic, the other one, Fall Out Boy. Stuff like that.
Yeah, Imagine
Brendan
Dragon.
Urie. Yeah,
Imagine
there you go.
Dragons.
Imagine Dragons. I had Imagine
I want
Dragons
to see if
stuck in
they're
my
a
head this
sucker
morning.
for pain.
Hilarious. This is a small tangent, but it's relevant because I wanted to tell Shannon about this, so I'm now remembering to tell Shannon about this. I had a synchronicity where I've been on an Arctic Monkeys kick this weekend.
Ugh.
I know, and I was just reliving I wasn't even into them like that in 2013, but I was, pretending it was 2013 for a while because I saw a tweet about the new Harry Potter TV show that's coming out, and the little girl who plays Hermione, her real name is Arabella. And someone goes, oh, she's British. She was born in 2013, and her name's Arabella. I wonder what band her parents were into when she was born. And I was like, that makes me want to listen to Arctic Monkeys again. And I've been listening to that album all weekend, and then I was last night, or, probably last night, was window shopping on a shoe website that I've never seen before. And there was a style of shoe that I landed on that was called Arabella, and I was like, weird. Good synchronicity. Like, where have you ever heard that name except in that context? Like, never. I've never met a real person with that name. And then I had that song stuck in my head, and I saw it on a shoe website. It was just a good synchronicity. Anyway, I don't know the name of the guy from Arctic Monkeys, but put him on this list too.
Okay, I have two.
Please.
And a real answer, not my joke one.
Yay! Mike Genuine time.
David Draymond from Disturbed.
Good
Dave
one.
Smith's new enemy.
Enemy, Nemesis. Very good.
I don't feel like the reviews would be good.
Dave keeps getting in fights with other Daves.
Do you think he
not-
does that in the bedroom?
No.
What?
Maybe if women ask, specifically.
And then, I'm sure he's also on the list, but I would love to know about Fred Durst.
I agree. I was thinking that too. That's another good one.
Or
I was saying how gross the cotton candy flavor idea of a cotton candy flavored drink would be.
what's his face? Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach.
Oh, these are. Do you just know all these names because you listen to the STR show all the time, or?
Josta.
Very good. Right, makes sense.
I did know David Draymond's name before.
These I do not know.
You don't know? Well, I mean, everyone knows Fred Durst.
Fred Durst is the only one that I knew of the ones that you've said.
But yeah, so that's my three.
Those are good ones. Those are very good ones. That was it from Morning Zoo this week.
I want to see what the roach looks like.
Yeah, true. I forget who the
What
biggest
about,
ones were.
Who's the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I should know that. Damn it. Who's the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Oh, you know who?
Anthony Kiedis.
The Gorillas. I want to see what they say about the Gorillas.
No one. It's sort of like what's his name? Deadmau5. No one knows if they're fucking gorillas.
It's like a Japanese porn.
There you go. It's blurred.
They have pixelated genitals. So. Do you have any other things before I get into my next one?
Nope. Well, I have TTI, but we can take turns. You're next.
Okay. So no need for apologies this week. Banger of an episode, and that is because the two guests were an accidental double booking, which means double the fun for us.
I love it.
Monroe Martin.
Love it. Great.
And Mark Gregory from your time period on the show.
I'm going to look up Mark Gregory right now.
He's the relative of Dick Gregory.
Right. I have to see a picture of him. Mark
Which,
Gregory.
while you look that up, I'll say that just kicked loose the other thing I wanted to mention from Story Warz, which was David Lucas told us that he's like a grandnephew of Frank Lucas, famous New York City gangster Frank Lucas.
Oh, cool.
Remember, he was the one where it's like the cops knew that he was like a drug dealer because he had better seats than
Hilarious.
like, the boxers.
I don't remember that. This is an episode from my time on the show, but I must have been out this day. I don't remember this one. It's with Onika as well. Episode 164, if anyone wants to go back to it.
But that's your time period.
It is my time period on the show, yeah.
Mark
2021.
Gregory he was so funny on the show.
Hell yeah. What do they talk about?
So the one thing which has been discussed on in various contexts, it's been referenced on different shows, and it's been these viral, very extravagant prom entrances, right? We've been seeing these going viral a lot. A lot of different podcasts have talked about it. No Need for Apologies talked about how there was a high school in Philly that canceled prom because they didn't want the poor kids to feel bad.
There's a new thing that's going on in school where they're catering to underserved children a little bit too much.
Uh-oh.
This just happened in Philly also. Roxborough High School, no prom this year. Why? Because so many kids go all out for the prom. They don't want to make the kids that can't go that hard feel inferior.
Get the fuck
So they
outta here.
canceled
That
the
was the
whole
point.
prom, bro.
That was the
They
point.
canceled the whole
Nah,
prom.
just make the dress code looser. But like, hey, y'all niggas can show up in your jeans if you want.
Yo, that's
with some
Right.
khakis.
But
or
no,
some
I mean,
shit.
you
Yeah.
know how
I
Philly
was
is. It's
fly as
people
fuck.
importing sand
My
from Dubai and
mom's
riding
Yeah.
riding camels to prom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they
Moms
like
get so much bread
we
for the
can't.
proms.
Yeah, we can't make the poor kids feel bad about themselves
Yeah.
going off into life with this kind of thing.
Couldn't they just say you're not allowed to, everyone has to show up together?
And so they started brainstorming different funny ways that you could do like prom alternatives.
Right.
And as a man who did not have a very
Great prom.
traditional prom experience, what do you think that we should like incorporate into prom to make it more fun?
I feel like I remember there being an anti-prom. I don't think this-
Antipost?
An antipost. There was a, I don't think that it was school sanctioned, or maybe it was, but it was casual and it was not at, it was either at the school or like at a restaurant nearby or like at the gymnasium or whatever. Or it was casual. Because our junior formal was just in the gym of the school, but our senior prom was at like a banquet hall of some kind.
We actually had, my school had a pretty big deal. It was at the whatever banquet hall thing of like the Hilton in Harrisburg.
Nice. Ours,
Like
dude.
the literal main intersection of the entire one of the main intersections of the entire city of Harrisburg was like
No
right where the
shit.
Hilton is,
Yeah.
and that's where we had our prom. And you could see the limos pulling up because we were at a rich kid school,
Yeah. We, here's a confession.
public rich kid school.
Here's a confession. Yeah, they don't want to. You don't want them to think that you're a private school kid.
Never.
Here's a confession. In New Jersey, there are so many of those fucking banquet hall style venues that I get them all confused, and they all have names that are like kind of the same. So I don't. And if you say one to me, if I've been to it for whatever reason, it means nothing.
the Michael
to me.
Imperioli banquet hall
It's like the
or fucking
the
Bruce Springsteen banquet
the
hall.
brownstone or like the what's the other one called? They all have like some of them have Italian sounding names.
James Gandolfini banquet hall.
Basically. But like I don't know where mine was. That being said, I feel like an anti-prom is like a cute thing to have. I don't think I went to mine. But things that you think we should do at proms to make them more open to
Yeah,
everybody?
they said like I think go to the aquarium or something.
Oh, actually, my college Did your college have like? Oh, you were during the pandemic that you ended. You were in your senior year during the pandemic. Our senior year, which was in 2019, had a prom. Like, we had senior week, which was like a bunch of events, and one of them was a prom in the Boston Aquarium.
Ooh.
So it was like dress fancy, hors d'oeuvres, and it's after hours, and you can wander around the aquarium.
Oh,
Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from? Why is he eating pants Oreos?
With dirt.
With dirt Oreos, Floreos.
Yo.
So actually an aquarium is really cute. I was going to say like an arcade or something, or like a
gun range.
a gun range is pretty funny, but
Bang.
I think aquarium is kind of sexy.
Bang.
It's like a little sophisticated. We had like a senior night that was like overnight that was at a place that was kind of like an aquarium, but they also had like ice, like roller skating, and it was casual. And they had I remember there being not enough pizza, and it was like overnight, and they had magicians, and there was like a hypnotist and stuff, and it was like your parents drop you off at like 8 p.m. and everyone goes in buses, and you
How
come
old
back
were
at like
you?
2 a.m. Senior. I was a senior in high school.
Magicians.
They were fucking cool. Why are you being a cunt? Why are you being a cunt? Why are you being a bitch?
Just like saying.
Why is he so mean to me today?
No one in. Because. No, I'm not. It's very funny to me to say magicians with that tone of voice. Like that kind of style of outrage.
Magicians?
Magicians. No one's ever said magicians like that. Ever.
I'm going to do that while you're telling a story next. But yeah, something like that. A museum would be really cool too. My friends just went to like
I would love to go
grown
to-
up night at the
A museum
Liberty
would be
Science
nice.
Center. We should go to the Liberty like something like that after hours at the Liberty Science Center. That's my suggestion.
Oh, fucking. We go to an observatory and dance under the stars,
Right. That's cute as fuck. That's really cute.
and it's free past before 8.
Yeah, exactly.
You go during the day.
Did
under
you have
the
any other
stars.
suggestions?
You said a museum. I was going to say go kart.
And you get tangled up in the wheels or what? In your fancy outfits?
Yeah. Or parachute.
What? What do you mean parachute?
Or parachute.
What do you mean by parachute? Who's parachuting where? Where do the parachutes come from?
No,
you know what? Rock climbing.
Yeah, true. It's a parent shoot. You shoot your parents.
Bang bang.
They should go rock climbing though.
I think we should move on from the. I
Or
think we
one of
should
those-
climb away from this section.
Okay.
Did you have any? Wait, you sounded like you had a bunch of stuff from No Need.
There are a couple of.
Are you cracking your back? What happened there? Your Oreos are getting stuck.
My tummy.
My tummy also. I don't know
My
why.
stomach hurt.
Mine is
No,
because
I'm
I'm drinking
okay.
cold, disgusting coffee because I'm
Pass.
trying to lose weight, so I didn't put milk in it or
You know,
sugar
it
in
still
it.
tastes like ice cream.
No! Part of what makes it taste like ice cream is that I put half and half in it.
Oh.
I'm losing weight for this wedding that I'm in 2 weeks.
Yay.
So that my dress fits me just a little bit better.
Yeah, a wedding. That's a good idea. For the prom.
Elaborate.
It's like a mock wedding.
That's kind of what these kids are doing with their entrances, right?
I guess so.
What else do you have from No Need?
Nothing in particular. That was the one that really stuck out to me.
All right, let's do TTI next. So on the thing is, ding. It was Mike Fick's birthday.
Yes.
Lots of
June
June
babies.
birthdays. Yeah.
It's my uncle's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday. It was my uncle's birthday too, except he died in 9/11. That's why we went to see him earlier.
Whoa.
That's what I did today. We went to see the memorial.
They went to curse at the Jews.
I didn't know my uncle that well because I was not very alive in 2001. I was 3. I was 4. And but yeah. So it was Mike Figg's birthday. He's 35 now. We're like not that far apart in age. I always have a weird concept of like I guess he's like 7 years older than me. But that's not even a crazy amount. Anyway, one thing. Oh, I'll be honest. I was going to make you a coupon book. Did you see the episode?
Yeah.
I was going to make you a coupon book for this show because that seems like something that you would totally do for this segment. But I ran out of steam and all of the stuff I was going to say was like...
Free N-word pass.
It was going to be kind of the same stuff that she wrote.
Oh my God, do I have a couple latenesses I can cash in? What the hell is this? Here we go. One free compliment. Yay. Lead a segment of your choice. I'll leave that up to you. Be late and not get shit for a minute up to 15 minutes only. No negative reaction from me when I get caught not paying attention. Talk about Montoya for 5 minutes. I like to cash in my Montoya ticket. KP Burke.
Rip it in half. You only get to use it once.
But I want to know what you think about, is it a compliment to a lady to tell her that you jerked off to her? You're not a lady, but I want to know your thoughts on it.
Do I think if I were a lady or as a man?
Let's do if you were a lady first. And then I have an alternative question. Because KP tells a story on the episode about how he was doing stand-up in a bad situation to a bunch of people that he went to high school with, and this girl calls her sister on the phone. I'm telling the audience so that I don't include the whole clip. And she calls her sister and it's like, oh, Kevin Burke is here and he's doing stand-up. And he's like, oh, I remember you. I used to jerk off to you all the time. And he goes, Shannon, is it a compliment if a guy does that? And she's like, I can understand it being funny in this context, but if I was at the coffee shop and a guy came up to me and said that, she'd be like, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, context matters.
Yeah. I'm like, also, if you are in a situation where you're now fucking somebody, I think that makes it more okay.
I told you that if I like a woman, I won't jerk off to them.
Because you said it's bad luck.
It's a curse. It's a Catholic curse.
I agree. I would feel nothing but guilty about it, and I would also have a hard time hanging out with or seeing them again. If I didn't know you like that and I thought about you naked, and then I had to just like be normal about it, I don't think I'd be able to.
That's why I'm at. That's why. The joke didn't.
He short-circuited.
The joke made more sense in my head.
Can I know it?
I was gonna say that's why I'm abstinent, but that doesn't make sense to jerking off.
You're like, that's why I don't jerk off ever.
Yeah.
That's why I'm semen retention. That's why I'm doing semen retention.
Give it aside.
Alternate question: as a guy, if you found out that a chick was jerking off to you, that's hot, right? Or is that also a little bit creepy?
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What about if a guy was jerking off to you?
No, that's weird.
That would bother you big time.
Unless he's doing shadow puppets with his dick.
How does that make
it? Be pretty cool.
How would that make it better?
Because it's like a show too.
Yeah, but how would you know that? He would go, hey, here's a funny thing. I used to jerk off to you all the time, and I would just, like, make a total puppet show out of it. And you'd be like, yo, that's sick, show me. Yo, that's sick, show me.
That's what I mean. If he, like, reenacted it with his fingers on what happened, that'd be pretty cool.
I am going to take your word for it here.
I just love shadow puppetry.
He loves shadow puppetry. Fun fact about Mike that you might not know. He loves shadow puppetry.
I mean,
and also aquariums. I had written one more thing, and I forget what it is. Oh, they also mentioned pegging again. I feel like we can't escape. Because he was talking about the chick that was flirting with him and who was much, much taller than him. And he was like, what are you going to... I bet you peg the short guys. That's why you like short guys. And she was like, yeah, a lot of dudes say that they don't like it, but then they love it.
And she's 6'4", and she goes, she just leans and she goes, I really like shorter guys. I feel like you try harder.
Oh boy, what a weird thing to say.
And then she puts her hand on my leg and like kind of runs it up my leg for a second. And I was like, all right, we'll diffuse this. I was like, oh yeah, probably you like them because they're easier to bend over and then you can peg them with your dildo, right? And she goes, every guy pretends they're not going to like it and then they wind up loving it.
Like, it's all coming back around. It's all full circle.
Confirm.
Nope. Oh, yes. Sorry. Can confirm. For Chris's birthday, we pegged Mike. Guys, it was a success.
And I can't go a night without it now.
Yeah.
I'm addicted.
Yeah, it's taking a lot of energy out of me. My legs are tired.
I told Harrington.
My glutes are feeling it.
When Harrington asked me yesterday, or the day before.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was actually Tuesday night. And I said, it's now second to breathing for me.
Very good. So if you're coming back from last week wondering if I pegged Mike for Chris's birthday, actually this is funny.
It's like the trick bikes.
Yeah.
That's what I like to use. Those pegs on the trick bikes.
Oof, brutal. I texted Chris because on Monday I was like, oh, it's Chris's birthday today. I texted Chris and I go, hey, happy birthday. I haven't pegged Mike yet, but there's still time. And he sent back just like a fingers crossed emojis. So, yeah, we finally did it. Damn. Against all odds.
Yeah. It was a jamboree of sorts.
Yeah, because I was really jamming that shit in there, huh?
Yeah, and you were boring. The rear end.
What do you have next? That's it for me.
Well, I was going to also ask, would your reaction have been similar if a lady had put her hand on the guy's leg?
I mean, that would certainly be the thing that
Are you territorial?
I'm not that. I wouldn't go, I would break her wrist. But that would be the thing that I would hone in on in the story. I'd be like, she touched you in kind of an intimate place. Interesting.
Oh.
Like if it was
women love a detail.
If it was if she had like patted him on the shoulder, I don't think that would bother me. Or you on the shoulder for this example.
True dat over here.
But the fact that she touched his thigh, that's intimate.
True dat over here just
if a stranger touched my thigh
on bro's leg.
If a stranger touched my thigh, I'd be like, you don't know me like that, you know? I mean, I guess if it was in a flirty context, I would be into it. But, like, you know, that's a very that's like a you don't know me like that, you know? But I would give the pass if they didn't know that you had a partner.
Or doing shadow puppets.
Or if they were doing shadow puppets, I would allow it, yeah. They were doing shadow puppets with your dick.
What if it was, like, story time?
What is that in addition to? What part of the story?
Like, it's story time and then, like, it's like a branch falls off the tree onto your leg, and then they go.
Oh, that I would allow. That wouldn't bother me, but that's obviously not what happened in the story that KP told.
Happened.
No, she leaned in.
I know that's not what happened.
Stupid.
What if they were talking about 9/11?
What else do you have? Happy birthday, Mike Figs. We'll end on TTI there.
Big
and then it's Shannon's episode.
Week.
I mean, Shannon's birthday would, by the time this airs, would be this past Sunday, I believe.
Wow. So
everyone go Venmo Shannon. Shannon Lee Ding on Venmo. And Shannon didn't get me a present this year because we don't see each other every day, but I kind of want to get her a birthday present. I want to get her a little jewelry box that looks like the planchette that they have on a Ouija board. I saw this online ages ago and I went, Shannon would like that. We'll see if I get it. It's kind of short notice now. I don't know if it'll come in time. Anyway. What else do you have?
Okay, so Legion of Skanks this week. Ali Siddiq was on.
That clip was very funny. I think it was one that you made.
Which one?
About them like scrutinize. Oh, the title was very Mike. Scrutinizing the kid's room, where they're like, those weights don't ever get used. Why don't he got clothes on his fucking hangers?
Mike behavior, having hangers.
Having hangers and or having your clothes everywhere instead of in your closet.
And not using your hangers.
Are you not using my hangers?
Not yet. Gotta clean my room first. Dog.
Mike has a closet. I'm about to shame you.
And I'm in it.
I'm about to publicly shame you. It's June. It's June. We're out of the closet now. Okay.
I'm getting pegged.
And you're getting pegged. Happy Pride. And he has this closet, and there's a shelf on top of the closet. And instead of hanging the clothes on hangers in the closet, he has them piled on the shelf and also all over his room. It's like, why are you doing that, buddy? Anyway, it's 10 o'clock. We should probably wrap this shit up soon.
Yeah, your boy. So the one thing I wanted to bring up was I did not know that Dave Smith spent a night in jail.
When? In his 20s?
Sometime around then when he knew Lewis.
Okay. They've known each other since they were like 19 years old or something like that.
It was like Lewis gave Dave money to buy weed.
Okay.
And like Dave was like rolling it up or something, and like the cops were doing a sweep and like busted Dave.
No shit.
And he went to jail, and they put him in the Dominican cell. And he
as
said,
if there's one Dominican cell in a New York prison.
And he said that like he knew like kitchen Spanish.
Oh.
And he was so he could like kind of pick up on their conversation, and he was trying to talk to them.
Okay.
And they like gave him a cigarette, and then they asked him what he was in for, and he was like, "Oh, my buddy actually," and they were like immediately knew he was white because he said my buddy.
That's so funny.
He's just so Dave.
That's so Dave. Yeah. That doesn't surprise
He's
me.
talking about fiscal policy.
No, that doesn't surprise me that Dave spent a night in jail given the past that he and Lewis share. That doesn't surprise me at all. What did I just say? My brain short-circuited there. It doesn't surprise me that he spent a night in jail. If you were like, hey, recently Dave spent a night in jail, I was going to be like, excuse me? Yeah, because he did that. What's funny is that maybe twice a month, Dave cancels on me 5 minutes before showtime without warning. So if it was just recently, he was like, hey, I can't record, I'm in jail. I would be like, oh, I mean, I guess I'm a little surprised, but given the fact that he never tells me what the reason is, more or less, I'd be like, oh, so that's what that was about. Interesting. Yeah. Makes sense.
It's because he had a fist fight with what's his face,
Douglas Murray.
Yeah,
that's funny. Anyway, that's a good story. And also, again, doesn't surprise me.
Another funny story was so they were talking about this is
that's why I'm leaning this way.
So on the show they were Ali was talking about how he couldn't go to London because for some reason they like aren't letting felons in.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I'm thinking of Canada. I don't think I knew that about England.
So they were talking about other places that he had been or was planning to go to, and Lewis was talking about Greece and how great Greece was. And then he says to Ali Siddiq, he goes, you got to cut this in because it's only fun in the context of cutting it in.
Okay.
But he's like, dude, like, Greece is great, but the drinks are like, I went to this place and there was like $45 a drink.
Where are you going to Greece?
Like 3 different islands.
Oh, you go to the islands? The best.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah, you're going to have a blast. It's expensive. It's crazy. Santorini drinks.
Don't talk about his money, dude. He's in the streets.
$45 a drink. It was insane.
I think I got it.
You got it? No, I'm sure. It's fine. You have all that Coke money.
And then like 20 minutes later, Ali is like, man, I know we're past this, but like I can't stop thinking about the fact that you thought I couldn't afford $45. Look at the watch I'm wearing.
Lewis, I'm kind of upset with you.
Why?
You said that drinks were expensive in Greece.
They were very expensive in Greece.
Did you not look at my wrist?
No, I wasn't saying for you. It was not a commentary.
I can afford drinks.
It's not a commentary on you. It's a commentary on Greece.
Every time I look at the screen, I'm like, God damn my wrist.
Dude, that is. He probably doesn't know that's Louis Vuitton.
The best part is just how long there was in between when you made that comment and when it just came up.
It's been bothering the whole time.
It's been sitting with him.
It's been like, did this dude just tell me drinks are
Ollie.
are they $25, Lewis?
No, it's a comment.
a lot?
That's so fucking funny. I thought it was more Lewis being cheap, which Lewis is not cheap. So I guess that kind of surprises me. I thought he was just outraged, where he's like, can you believe they're charging $45 a drink? But instead he went, I would tell you to go there, but the drinks are like $45.
So I don't even remember, something like that.
That's very, very funny. That's great.
It wasn't even like
Look at the watch I'm wearing. It's incredible.
It wasn't even warning him necessarily. It was just like, dude, but the drinks were expensive.
It
wasn't like he was warning him. He was just like, it's kind of a pricey place.
Yeah, for sure.
Or it was almost in the context of like, this is a nice place. Their drinks are expensive.
Right, for sure.
And then I leaned over to Serafina and Brandon, and while they were having that their little pissing contest, and I went, yeah, but Ollie's not tipping though. That's what he's not factoring. That's not what he's factoring in.
Ha Good thing Josh wasn't there.
He was. Did you see Brandon's video?
No, I didn't see Brandon's video.
Jake wasn't there, so Josh had to take over crowd excitement at the beginning of the show.
I didn't know that was on video.
And Brandon got a video of it, and Jay said that he was running around like a scarecrow.
Josh was?
Yeah.
That's great. That brings me a little bit of joy. I like that a lot. Josh comes in on Fridays, we've learned.
What?
Well, Josh comes in to do work here on Fridays when it's fucking empty in here. He's lucky that I just happen to have been here both times. But
it's not super empty. Usually there's something going on.
Yeah, but like
it's not like Tom used to sit, because there was one time I remember.
Yeah, I guess if you came in on a Sunday, it'd be like no one's here.
Before I worked here, I didn't know that Spook Show was a pre-tape.
Oh,
and I was like, maybe I'll come in on a Friday sometime to like
see Spook Show
live. See Spook Show, and he was like, no, we don't really. We try to save money. We don't. The lights are usually off on Friday.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what?
You're like, oh, I thought that it was all live.
Yeah.
It was all movie magic. Shout out Crackpot Whisperer in the chat being like, I liked it better when they did 2 episodes 2 different days a week of On the Gate, as if they haven't been done 2 episodes back to back since the inception of that show.
True.
It's like, oh, things changed when they came to GaS Digital. It's like, oh, actually, they've literally been like that the entire, like, I hate to ruin the illusion. A lot of these shows are not live.
Girl,
a lot of the shows on the network are not live. This show, however, will be live whenever we get 1,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel.
What is that?
At GaS Digital Now.
Who's the queen of segues now?
At GaS Digital Now on YouTube. If you want us to have a live Q&A where any question, and I'm not saying that we're gonna get to every question, because obviously we can't promise that. But if Jorge reads us a question, and I do want it to be Jorge that runs this for us, if Jorge presents us a question, we can't go, I'm not answering that.
We might mudsling a little bit. We might throw the other person under the bus.
Names under the bus. Oh, meaning about each other?
Or others.
I would love to talk shit about Mike. So if you have any questions that you've been wanting to know about Mike that you don't think he'll answer, you can ask it to me and I'll answer it.
Exactly. That's kind of the loophole here, the poop hole loophole.
I like
Happy
it.
Pride.
I like it. Anyway, anything else for Skanks?
No, like you said, just to wrap things up here, everyone make sure you tune in. By the time this airs, it'll already have been live on the site, but please check out True Dat Pod with my boy Naeem. It's going to be at youtube.com/@TrueDatPod if you feel like a cheapskate.
And airs on GaS Digital before Spook Show. Wow. I think that's a great double feature. It's going True Dat at 10 and then Spook Show at midnight.
Yeah.
It's a good Friday night.
Doubled, bubbled, toil and trouble.
For sure.
And then you can go ahead and subscribe to GasDigital.com to watch all of these shows live and be in the chat, and you want to use code NOW to get a special discount on your membership.
That looks good on. That reflects well on
Yeah.
us.
That's big boy points.
Yeah. I didn't mean to segue us into plugs so abruptly, but while we're at it, I figured now's a good time to wrap.
And you can follow the Gas Digital accounts at Gas Digital on Instagram and Twitter, the YouTube channel at Gas Digital Network. We're posting classic clips, baby. And when I'm in charge, I go deep.
He loves
I
to
go
go deep.
in the recesses. I find the other moments that y'all forgot.
In the
about.
bowels.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the bowels. I'm in the dungeon.
You could say he's pegging the backlog, if you will. He's the one with the strap on here.
I got the big backlog.
Natalie DeChico edits on Instagram, DECICCO_edits.
And at That Blind Mike.
We post pictures together. If you want to see pictures of the two of us, there's a couple up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Be cute about it.
Be cute about it. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
First hot day of the year. Shorts. My legs are out.
Her leggies are out.